In the beginning, before the first star ever ignited, and before time itself began its endless march, there was only the eternal. The universe lay silent in his presence, an unshaped void waiting for the command of his voice. Out of that silence came light, life, and order. But among the countless wonders God created, none shone brighter than the one who would later fall the farthest. His name was Lucifer, meaning light-bearer, the radiant morning star, Isaiah 14:12. He was not a monster in the beginning, nor the twisted deceiver humanity now fears. He was beauty incarnate, a masterpiece of divine craftsmanship. Every gem adorned him, every sound he uttered was music itself. Ezekiel 28:13. In the courts of heaven, he walked as one closest to the throne, basking in the light of God's glory. But even in heaven, where no shadow should dwell, pride took root, and that seed would shake eternity. Lucifer was not created evil. He was designed to reflect God's light, to magnify his glory across creation. As the anointed cherub, he stood guard over the very presence of God, his wings outstretched over the sapphire throne. Ezekiel 28:14. He was more than an angel. He was the pinnacle of angelic order, radiant in wisdom and perfect in beauty. But in that beauty, something stirred. The very gifts meant to glorify God became the soil for rebellion. Pride, subtle and silent, began to whisper, "Why worship when I can be worshipped? Why serve when I can rule?" And with that thought, the cosmos began to tremble. Isaiah records the cry that echoed from Lucifer's heart, "I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will make myself like the Most High." Isaiah 14:13-14. It was not a sudden revolt, but a swelling tide of self-exaltation. The light-bearer desired the throne that was never his. The worship once offered through him, he now demanded for himself. He no longer wanted to reflect the glory of God. He wanted to be the glory of God. It was the first sin, born not in the streets of men, but in the heart of heaven's brightest being. Lucifer's rebellion was more than defiance. It was a war of authority. Revelation 12:7 tells us, "Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. That dragon, Lucifer, now called Satan, was cast down, no longer the bearer of light but the father of lies." Yet here lies the greatest mystery. If God is all-powerful, why not end him right there? Why allow the serpent to crawl the earth, whispering deception across generations? The answer cuts deeper than most dare to contemplate. God's power is absolute, but his nature is also absolute. And his nature is love, justice, and holiness. To simply erase Lucifer would not solve the rebellion. It would raise questions in the minds of all creation. Why was one so exalted destroyed without trial? Was God truly just, or merely strong enough to silence dissent? The universe had never seen sin. It had never seen rebellion. For God to maintain perfect justice, Lucifer's rebellion had to run its course, and its consequences had to be revealed. Consider this. God could destroy Satan in an instant. Yet if he did so before sin's nature was fully unmasked, angels and future humanity might obey out of fear, not love. The universe might question whether Satan's accusations carried truth. It is this cosmic courtroom, not a lack of power, that restrains God's hand. The cross itself is the clearest proof of this principle. When Christ died, it was not merely for humanity's sin, but to expose the true nature of Satan's rebellion. John 12:31. There, at Calvary, the universe saw the full contrast between God's self-sacrificial love and Lucifer's consuming pride. Satan's rebellion was not only against authority, but against the very structure of creation. He sought to redefine good and evil, to dethrone the Creator and enthrone himself as arbiter of truth. That's why his first words to humanity in Eden were, "You will be like God." Genesis 3:5. The same lie he told himself. Humanity's fall was an extension of his own, a ripple of that original rebellion spreading through time. And yet, even in our fall, God's plan was not derailed. Through humanity, he would demonstrate his justice and mercy in ways even the angels could not comprehend. 1 Peter 1:12. So why does God allow Lucifer to continue? Because the story is not over. Every lie Satan spreads becomes evidence against him. Every act of evil becomes proof of what rebellion leads to. And every act of faith, love, and redemption showcases the superiority of God's kingdom over the tyranny Lucifer craves. Revelation 20 reveals that a final judgment is coming when Satan will be cast into the lake of fire. But until then, his existence serves a purpose far beyond his understanding, a living demonstration of the futility of pride and the unstoppable nature of divine justice. There is another layer to this mystery, one often missed. Satan's continued presence is not just a testimony to God's justice, it is also a test for creation. Without choice, love cannot exist. Without opposition, faith cannot grow. Lucifer's rebellion presents a choice. Whom will we trust? Whom will we follow? And in that choice, God's people are refined like gold in the fire. This is why James writes, "Resist the devil and he will flee from you." James 4:7. Resistance builds strength. Temptation reveals loyalty. In a strange paradox, even the enemy serves the purposes of God. And so, Lucifer remains, not as an equal rival, but as a defeated foe awaiting sentence. He is a shadow cast by the brightest light. A reminder that pride can corrupt even the most glorious being. Yet his existence points us back to a deeper truth. That God is patient not because he is weak, but because he is just. His mercy holds back his wrath, giving time for repentance and revealing the full depth of sin's ugliness. When the final judgment comes, no one will question his verdict. Every knee will bow, not because they are forced to, but because they see the righteousness of the King. Philippians 2:10-11. In the end, the story of Lucifer is a mirror, not just of rebellion, but of the potential within every heart. Pride is not a distant cosmic event. It is a battle waged within us daily. The same lie that deceived Lucifer whispers still, "You don't need God. You can be your own God." And every time we choose humility over pride, obedience over defiance, we declare again that the throne belongs to God alone. So the question is not only why God hasn't destroyed Lucifer. The deeper question is, will we let the same rebellion grow in us? Will we stand on the side of the one who laid down his life to expose the darkness, or align ourselves with the one who grasped for a throne that was never his? The answer determines more than our allegiance. It determines our eternity. And as the final chapters of history unfold, Satan's days grow shorter. The voice that once sang in heaven now trembles before the approaching king. The throne he sought is forever beyond his reach. And when the story ends, it will not end with a duel between equals, but with the unquestioned reign of the Almighty. And the universe will know that love, not pride, is the greatest power of all.